Hey, what's up you guys? My name is Killer J. Y'all can call me KJ. Welcome back to another video. And today we're going to be talking about one of the most nostalgic horror kids TV shows of all time, Goosebumps. If you haven't seen my first video on Goosebumps, the video is going to be pinned in the comments below. And today we're going way back to 1995 when the first ever Goosebumps episode aired in Halloween. Like, this was 1995. I was 2 years old. Like, most of you weren't even born when this episode aired.
I've fallen. And I can't get up!
And it's not only one of the first episodes that ever aired, it's actually one of the scariest ones in my opinion. In fact, after this episode, the series had to get toned down to be more suitable for a younger audience. And that episode is The Haunted Mask. But before we do that, guys, I do have to plug myself in at some point, so make sure you guys like and subscribe if you like what you've seen so far. Also follow me on social media, I post different content and stuff like that. And follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/KillerJ. Oh, you're fucked. Okay, stop. Okay, don't expect me to do one of these dances for each one of these fucking videos that I'm gonna do in this series. I'm too fat and old for this shit. So technically, this is not only the first episode, this is like a two-part special that runs for about an hour to like 50 minutes or something like that, 45 minutes. And because there's a lot I want to talk to you guys about, and YouTube can be, you know, sometimes a bunch of fucking I can't go a month without getting copyrighted in this fucking channel. We will have to skip over a lot of filler and dialogue and clips of the video because, you know, I like in the beginning where we get like a small cameo from R.O. Stein, like he's in front of the mask and he's introducing the episode. And to the fans of the book, this is like the first time ever seen him if you weren't like subscribed to like the scholarship newsletter or you didn't have internet access back in the day. So it was kind of cool, but I think I've said this joke before. R.O. Stein is like the most mellowest dude ever, and he was probably under a bunch of stress under this time because if I believe, like if I'm saying this right, the Goosebumps book, they would come out like monthly. They were almost like comics. You would get a full Goosebumps book at some point, like monthly. And he was also working on Fear Street and a bunch of other books at the same time. And on top of that, working on the TV series as well, because he is like a producer or something, or director or writer. He does something important with the series as well. He is like the most unstressful, mellowest, most boring guy I've ever seen in my life. Anyway, so the episode starts off with our main character, Carly Beth, and her best friend, Sabrina. And they're on their way in the middle of the night to a pumpkin patch to grab a pumpkin so they can do like a jack-o'-lantern and shit. On their way to the pumpkin patch, they come across like this local Spirit Halloween shop that just arrived randomly in the town, and there's like this creepy guy looking at him through the window. By the way, this guy's name, like in the story, is credited as Thin Tall Man, which just adds to the creep factor.
Wow. Pretty scary, huh? Yeah.
Anyway, so Carly Beth and Sabrina go to the pumpkin patch. You go pick out a pumpkin, and it's kind of cool that in like the late 90s, I don't know if this is like a real thing, like you would get pumpkins for free and people would just set them out in their neighborhood, because I had to pay almost $25 for the one that I bought for last like Halloween, and that shit started rotting like hours after I was done with it. Like literally, it became mush in like 30 minutes. Minutes. So Carly Beth is essentially like a scary cat. She gets scared easily. Like Sabrina literally just does like a sudden movement and scares her like that. And this is a little bit worrying because I know that probably mental health for teens and kids back in the 90s wasn't a big thing. But this sounds to me like fucking social anxiety and not the fact that she's a scary cat.
Do you hear breathing?
It's probably you, Carly Beth.
I thought I heard footsteps. I think someone's followed us here, Sabrina.
And we meet these two bullies that come out with like jack-o'-lantern heads and scare the shit out of Carly Beth. Their names are Chuck and Steve, and they essentially are kind of friends of Carly Beth, but like to like terrorize her and like scare her all the time. Like their sole purpose in this episode is just to scare Carly Beth. But the thing is that she's just so easy to scare. And it's just worrying, to be honest.
Carly Beth, slow down! Stop!
Why? So you can laugh at me some more?
Carly Beth runs away and goes home pumpkinless, and this is where we meet her mother. And she's like into arts and crafts, like she's like an artist.
Hey, come here. I want to show you something. Check it out.
Mom, it's me. This face is me.
I finished it today in art class.
But she makes the creepiest fucking art sculpture of Carly Beth's head. Like, this is Satan's work. Like, this was crafted by the hands of Satan.
We covet things that were and shall be.
Like, this will take your soul into the devil's asshole if you stare at the eyes for long enough. Like, I'm not even kidding. This thing by itself, it's an actual problem. Like, there's points in the episode where it moves and even talks like Carly Beth. And this is not even, like, she hasn't even bought the mask yet.
It's kind of creepy, Mom.
What? Don't you like it?
Oh, I like it. It's really great. It's just, I mean, why do you want something that looks like me?
I made something that looks like you, silly, because
I want to swallow your soul.
Her mom got her like this duck costume for Halloween that she wanted like a couple months before.
Oh, by the way, your duck costume is all ready. I put it on your bed.
My duck costume?
Remember? You saw a duck at the mall, and you said you thought it might be fun to be a duck for Halloween.
And it kind of fits with the Carly Beth character, not wanting to go as something scary. And then her brother comes out of nowhere and scares the fuck out of her with the duck costume, which just completely destroys my point, but proves my other point, where is that people are literally out to get Carly Beth. Like, they even got a jingle for her. Like, Noah, her little brother, has like a little song that he sings for her.
Carly Beth the scaredy cat. Carly Beth the scaredy cat.
We skip to the next day at school and everybody's eating lunch like in recess outside and, you know, being social and shit. And here comes these little assholes out of nowhere to like torment Carly Beth once again. They jump scare her with a pumpkin and then they put a fucking live worm in her sandwich.
Really, Carly Beth, we're really sorry.
Like, is it not torture enough that this kid is eating a tuna sandwich for lunch? Now we're adding some extra fucking protein to it. But don't worry, because soon Carly Beth will get her revenge. I mean, I get that the worm kind of gross, but it's not scary. Like, straight up, Carly Beth takes 2 whole bites before even noticing that there's a worm in there. And then she starts screaming and running away.
What's wrong, Carly Beth? Oh, it's a worm!
I think it's kind of messed up because all the kids starts pointing and laughing at her, and there's some kids who are just forcing a laugh out to just be with the in crowd. Like, there's this kid who's dressed as a clown who is like the most forceful fake laugh, and they just focus on him for like a second. I don't even know why. Like, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Carly Beth once again runs away and gets home, and she catches out on the duck costume her mom got her. Am I saying that right? Catches out, crashes out. I need to stop. I need to stop. I need to stop.
Stupid thing.
She grabs her whole life savings, about like $30, and runs towards the Spirit Halloween shop that we saw earlier in the episode. And her goal is very simple. She wants to get a very scary mask to scare these bullies and get revenge on them. She goes inside the Spirit Halloween shop, she looks around, and then fucking Nosferatu comes out of nowhere and literally is like the worst salesman in the world. He instantly tries to kick her out, and then he just tells her that she has 5 minutes to pick whatever's on the wall, even though the whole goddamn store is covered with masks and shit like that.
What are you doing here?
Who are you?
Who are you? I am. Who are you? I am. Who are you? I am.
I'd like to buy a mask for Halloween, please.
We're closed.
Only a minute, please. I really need a mask. I won't be long.
Everything I have is up on the walls. 5 minutes.
And Carly Beth is not satisfied with what she sees, so she keeps looking around and she accidentally stumbles into the back rooms of the building. And I'm saying back rooms as saying room in the back of the building, not interdimensional back rooms that you no-clip into. And in this back room, there's a bunch of stuff. There's like this crack lab, but there's these 6 masks on display that are very detailed and creepy. Specifically, the one that we focus on is fucking terrifying. We'll talk more details about the mask and the behind the scenes of the makeup and all that shit once we get later on to the episode, but this mask right here is what caused a bunch of kids to like get traumatized by it. Like the masks are clearly alive, like you can see their eyes blinking, they're floating almost. It's very creepy and it adds to like the scare factor of this episode. The tall man discovers Carly Beth and he traps her in the back room with him, and it gets very creepy because I can see like if this wasn't a kid's show, like if this was like an adult show or like a regular show or like a movie, it would be like a very effed up kind of plot.
Please, mister, I'm really sorry.
You shouldn't be here.
Like I can just imagine the tall man trying to get Carly Beth's face off and make a mask with it. Like that's the idea I had when I first watched this as a kid.
You're not supposed to be here.
But the tall man is actually very chill. He actually apologizes to Carly Beth and he tells her that the masks are not for sale because they're like exclusive rare masks or something like that.
Sorry, young lady, but these masks are not for sale.
But Carly Beth keeps being very pushy. Like the tall man even offers her like a free gorilla mask with free gorilla hair.
There's a really frightening gorilla mask out front. It's made with real gorilla hair.
But Carly Beth doesn't want that. She wants revenge. Carly Beth offers the tall man $30 for this Tom Savini like quality style mask and
Hold up, Jay.
oh, hey, what's up, her son?
Don't interrupt my class. Did you know that Ron Stefanuc, the mastermind behind the Goosebumps iconic puppet effects, is actually the one responsible for bringing Slappy to life, as well as the evil of the haunted mask? He's also responsible for the giant whale in The Boys, and Mike Myers' chastity belt in The Love Guru. And let's not forget that before Chucky got lucky, he gave us Bride of the Living Dummy. Imagine handling those dolls on set. Nightmare fuel, right? Anyway, back to you, Jay.
Okay, so that was Her Sunsetter. He's a fellow YouTuber. I hope he's my fucking friend. Yeah, he's also a YouTuber, so go subscribe. His link is gonna be in the description. Moving on. So Carly Beth basically Steph Curry's ankle breaks the tall man and takes the mask, and she steals the mask basically.
No! Must leave, please! Now! Do!
But the tall man is actually not chasing her. He actually closes the door and lets her leave. Carly Beth gets home and she's getting ready for Halloween and tries on the mask for the first time. And holy shit, this mask is actually terrifying. Like, I want to buy the Trick or Treat Studios version so I can just have it for my collection. And if you haven't noticed, this is one of my favorite episodes in the whole series. I just love the whole design and the idea. It is very scary to me, even as an adult. I also like the one that I did before, which was The Girl Who Cried Monster. So Carly Beth's brother Noah is dressed like a roach. What is it? Oh, it's spider. It's a spider. He's dressed as he looked like a fucking roach. Like he straight up looked like a roach. Like I'm not even kidding. Look. And Carly Beth finally gets revenge on her first bully, which is her brother, her little like kid brother, and scares the shit out of him with the mask.
Hey, Noah. Stay away. No. No. Who are you?
And you can start to see why this mask was not for sale. Carly Beth kinda has a hard time taking off the mask, but she's playing it off as a joke to even scare more like Noah, because he's actually scared of the mask.
Hey, what is this? My mask, it won't come off. Stop kidding around, Carly Beth.
But you can kind of hear her start to freak out just as it comes off at the end. And even the music that's playing while this is happening is so good. It's almost like a predecessor to that Nun theme from The Conjuring 2.
Beth, I'm not kidding around.
The mask comes off and Carly Beth smiles and plays it as a joke. Or Carly Beth maybe just snap and she's slowly driving into like this dark void of madness in order to get revenge on the people who have tormented her for years. And this is just her letting out a little bit of that darkness out in front of Noah. So she goes downstairs to finish off her costume, and she finally puts on the mask with the costume on, and you can actually see how the mask vacuum seals and then gets like stuck to her face at this point. And again, props to the makeup department, because as the episode starts like going by, you can see how well like thought out was the transition to make the mask look more alive as it became one with Carly Beth.
Whoa.
And if by now you haven't gotten it or you haven't seen this episode, the mask is basically like a parasite that gets stuck to the person's, like to the wearer's skin. But there's more details to it, but it never gets fully explained. So it's just like a parasite that gets stuck to your skin once you put it on and you like seek revenge or want something from it. You know, I don't know. So not only does Carly Beth puts on this demon parasite mask, she also goes and takes the creepy ass bust of her head and puts it on a stick and then wraps a like an actual red like towel around it to symbolize blood. And keep in mind, again, I can see why it got toned down, because this is fucked up. It's very fucked up. If you look at it, if I was a parent in the 90s, I would have beaten the shit out of my kid. I would have no. So Carly Beth goes out trick-or-treating, and she is a menace to people. She's scaring kids. She's laughing with this little like demon laugh and giggling and running around and doing some heinous shit. There's a scene where she leans from a tree and all you can see is the mask, and it's like the most terrifying shot ever. She meets up with Sabrina, and Sabrina's instantly freaked out by the mask.
Carly Beth?
Hey, Sabrina.
Boo! That mask. It's excellent.
And the more they show the mask on screen, the more alive it becomes. Like, again, not enough praise to the makeup department. It was on point. Like, something very creepy that I noticed while watching it back again for this video is the fact that when Carly Beth blinks, like, there's no space between the mask and her eyes. Like, there's no space there. She blinks and it looks like she's blinking with her face. And it's just great. Carly Beth said some fucked up shit when Sabrina asked her about the bus, like her head bus that's on a stick with blood on it.
It looks so real. Where'd you get it?
Oh, it's me. It's who I used to be.
Used to be.
So they go out trick-or-treating, and Sabrina's having like a major panic / anxiety attack with the mask. I think she's really scared of it because she starts asking so many questions about the mask.
Mom didn't make it, did she? Did you buy it at that weird store? Was it a lot? Can I touch it? What's it made of? It isn't made of real skin, is it?
Be quiet, Sabrina.
I think you should take it off.
I said!
Shut up, bitch!
Carly shakes the fuck out of Sabrina like a newborn baby, just screaming to shut up, but she's just trying to scare her a little bit because she does kind of take part in the whole scaring her and bullying and laughing at her as well.
Gotcha. Should have seen your face. It was the best.
The best?
She plays it off saying that she's trying to stay in character and she was not trying to harm her or anything, but she was shaking the hell out of her. Like, she could have dislocated like a shoulder or like a clavicle or something like that.
It's not that funny, Carly Beth. It's a little sick.
I'm just staying in character, you know, getting in the mood. Did you actually think I was gonna hurt you?
Like, she could have dislocated like a shoulder or like a clavicle or something like that.
They get to their first house, and I understand why there's so many anti-bullying programs nowadays, because people in the 90s used to be fucking dicks. A mom and two kids received Carly Beth and Sabrina in the front door with candy, and one of the kids just off the back, no hesitation, just straight up tells Sabrina that she looks like a hamster.
What are you supposed to be, a giant hamster?
No. Cat.
Fuck you, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Carly Beth starts messing with the kids and straight up threatens like a little girl.
I don't like the other one, Mom. Too scary.
Oh, it's just a funny mask, hon. Don't be afraid.
No, keep on talking like that. I'm gonna eat your asshole.
Then threatens her mother, then takes the candy, runs away, runs back, throws it back at the lady, and then runs away again.
Tell your sick little friend that I'm gonna call the police.
The mom tells Sabrina that she's gonna call the cops, but nothing comes of it because it's just a kid being a kid. You know what I mean? Carly Beth is like jokingly blaming the mask for her attitude, but it seems like the mask is slowly taking over her. And call me a little too crazy for looking into it, but I believe that the mask doesn't fully take over you till you get your revenge or what you wanted from the mask.
It's not me, Sabrina. It's the mask. The mask made me do it.
Mask? What?
forget it.
She gets angry at Sabrina and goes on this little rant saying that how she wants her revenge and this is her night and this is the night that she finally gets to scare people and get back at them, and she just runs away by herself.
Let's just go back to my house, okay? No, this is my night. Halloween is my night. One night I get to have fun. The one night I don't have to be pitiful, scareable Carly Beth.
Carly Beth, no.
I'm sorry.
Carly Beth!
We cut to Chuck and Steve, you know, the bullies, and they're in the fucking cemetery just fucking around, playing around, like being kids. But why in a cemetery out of all the places? Like, they start counting their candy on top of a tombstone. You know, one time I dated this girl that wanted to fuck like in a cemetery. Like, that was a very cold night. Like, that was a very cold night. Carly Beth is just losing it, and she's terrorizing the whole fucking neighborhood. She's like taking down pumpkins and decorations. She's throwing down shit, scaring groups of little kids. She finally finds her way to the cemetery where Chuck and Steve are at, and she's finally ready to get her revenge. And at this point, the mask has to be like superficially glued on her face, because even when she moves, the teeth on the mask move as well. So she sneaks up on Chuck and Steve, and she finally jumps out to scare them, but she battle cries like fucking Kratos instead of actually like sneaking up and scaring them. Like, all this time, this whole thing was to scare Chuck and Steve, and not even 1 second goes by and he's like, Carly Beth?
You're Carly Beth, right?
You really scared us.
We've been looking for you.
But she plays it off by saying that the bus is actually Carly Beth's head, and they need to apologize to her, and they need to get on their knees and apologize to the severed head because they terrorized her for so long.
This is Carly Beth's head. Poor Carly Beth didn't want to give up her head tonight, but I took it anyway. Apologize to her. Tell Carly Beth you're sorry.
And if this wasn't a kids TV show, this could be in like a long leg / A24 type horror film. Like, the kids are on their knees crying and begging to this demon holding a severed head on a stick.
Apologize! Or I promise you wish you never met her.
Sorry, Carly Beth. We're sorry.
Like, I'm not even kidding. The head, the bus, actually starts moving and crying and asking for forgiveness with Carly Beth's like voice.
Help me.
Talked.
Please help me.
And keep in mind, the haunted item is the mask, not the bus. That's why I told you guys that this thing might be a whole different problem than the fucking mask. This might be a whole different demon possessing this goddamn satanic bus. It's terrifying.
I'm gonna eat your ass, huh?
So Carly Beth finally gets her revenge, and this is where I think the mask finally takes over Carly Beth's body and becomes one with her, because it makes her like out of nowhere bury the head bust in the cemetery, and they try to play it off, making it seem like a kid's show and shit by having Carly Beth do a cartwheel, but it just breaks the tension completely. It goes from tense to what the fuck in like 1 second. Sabrina finds Carly Beth resting after she scared Chuck and Steve and ran away. And at this point, the mask is like uncomfortably wet. Like, it's very moist. It's almost like your sister. Carly Beth and Sabrina catch up for a bit. Carly Beth tells Sabrina that she finally got her revenge on Chuck and Steve, and they decide to call it a night and go back to Sabrina's house to count their candies and, you know, take their costumes off and shit.
Did you find Chuck and Steve?
Yeah.
Did you scare them?
I think so.
You didn't hurt them, did you?
No, of course not.
Let's go home, okay?
And here's where shit starts getting very fucking creepy. Like, Carly Beth tries to take the mask off and it's not coming off. Like, it's actually painful.
Gotta get this mask off. It's boiling inside.
Good idea. Adam. Ouch! Carly Beth, what is it?
The mask. It won't come off.
Sabrina tries and hurts Carly Beth to the point where she instantly goes for the let's cut this mask off route.
Shut up and help me!
You really are stuck, aren't you?
Oh, please be very gentle. It really hurts.
We can cut it off, like with scissors or a knife.
She starts freaking out and Sabrina tries to help, but there's no getting this mask off. And after trying to find like the inside of the line of the mask, we get this infamous line that still scares me to this day.
There's no line in between the mask and your skin. There's no place I can reach my hand in.
There's no line between the mask and your skin. Carly Beth runs and looks at herself in the mirror and realizes that her eyes are weird and something's wrong with them.
His eyes in the mirror. What about them? They're not my eyes, Sabrina. My eyes don't look like that.
Try to calm down, Carly Beth.
Those aren't my eyes. Where are my eyes?
She runs away and goes to the Spirit Halloween shop where the tall man is actually expecting her already.
I was expecting you.
He explains that he can't take off the mask because, plot twist, it's a real face.
Why not?
Because it is not a mask. It is a real face.
So apparently this dude is actually skinning people's face off, making masks with them, and as they deform and start running off, he keeps them in the back of his mask shop.
How can they be real?
They weren't ugly in the beginning. They were beautiful. As beautiful as any face could be.
He starts to talk about how the faces are unloved and no one loves them.
I don't believe any of this.
I call them the unloved ones. Because no one will ever love them.
No, stop. Like, again, did we just hear that this dude skins people alive and then makes masks out of the fucking faces? Anyways, so since Carly Beth is the only person that actually wanted to willingly put on the mask and actually love him, that's the reason why the mask got attached to her face. It's almost like a weird obsessive, like, fucking attachment or something like that.
You're the only one who ever wanted them. The only one who ever loved them.
No! No!
But what's creepy is I can imagine as a kid seeing Carly Beth realize that this is now her face and her screaming and the little kid screaming in the mirror. That would scar me for life and that would cause a lot of trauma. And yeah.
I'm sorry. But this face is your face now.
No. No!
The tall man tells Carly Beth that there is a loophole if she can find what is called a symbol of love. Which again, he doesn't fucking explain and just misdirects the question to how he made the mask now. And since he's unloved and he didn't love himself, the mask started like rotting and decaying and he had to make one after the other.
There still might be a chance.
What? Well, tell me. We have to take it off.
I cannot take it off. Only you can. With a symbol of love.
I don't understand what that means.
I was like you. I did not love myself. I made these faces to hide behind them, to hide my faults.
Again, just misdirection completely. This is gaslighting. So what I could muster is that he is like a creature. That's why he's called a thin, tall man. And he wears like these skin masks. And because he doesn't love himself, he starts rotting away when the masks, and they start deforming into the things that he hates or the emotions. And that's where he has to switch masks. I still don't know. I still don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. If you guys know what it is, comment down below. I try to reach out to R.L. Stine and he just ignored me. I even said that I love him and he ignored me.
You've always had.
No, I want my fist back. I want my fist back. I want myself back.
So apparently this bickering back and forth has woken up the mask, which we now find out they are alive and can literally float and chase Carly Beth. And they're almost like obsessed with her, so they start chasing her out of the store. And it's fucking terrifying. It reminds me of that Japanese film House. If you haven't seen it, you need to go check it out. It's very cool. And there's like this floating head in the film that just bites this lady in the ass. And it's just terrifying because how they did the practical effects back in those times. And you definitely have to go check it out. It's a very cool Japanese movie. I think it's on Max or something like that. So Carly runs to the cemetery and digs up the head buzz of her own head that apparently does work because it scares off the mask, and it's revealed that the symbol of love was this bust that Carly Beth's mom did by trying to, like, I don't know, set up like a shrine to her daughter and show that she loves her, and that automatically like makes it a symbol of love and it scares the mask back to wherever they came from. And helps Carly Beth takes off the actual mask that she has on as well. Carly Beth runs home and her brother Noah is still being a dick to her even after she scared the shit out of him, and tries to scare her by telling her, oh, take off the mask, as if her ugly face is the mask, and she kind of believes it because of all trauma that she just went through right now, but it ends up being like a joke and shit like that. And then she sees her mom, hugs her, and she leaves the mask on the floor, and then Noah puts it on, and we get like a cliffhanger, what if this mask possessed Noah now, etc, etc. And that's where the episode ends. We get an outro by R.L. Stine, and yeah, that's it. Final thoughts, honestly, this is not only one of my favorite like Goosebumps book, it's also one of my favorites like kids horror, nostalgic anthology thing, TV show of all time. Like, I love Are You Afraid of the Dark, Tales from the Crypt, but every time they ask me like, hey, what's like your number one like thing? Oh, Goosebumps and The Haunted Mask. Like, that episode is traumatizing. There's a reason why I want to buy the mask. So this episode is always going to be a 5 out of 5. If this is one of your favorite ones, let me know down below. We will try to do the second part of this, because there's a second part with I think Chuck or Steve or some other kid that was related to Carly Beth, and she does make an appearance in this episode, I believe, as well. So that's going to be very cool. We'll check that out later in the future. But yeah, I'm going to start heading out, guys. My voice is going away and I have to stream in like 20 minutes. So yeah, take it easy. Love y'all. Bye.